All right, welcome everybody. Before we get started, just a quick shout out to our visionary partners. I just want to give a little quick mention. So I'm Devin. I'm a product design manager here at Clio.
And I'm Shannon. I'm on the product management team here at Clio, and together we've been leading the personal injury initiative that we're very excited to be presenting to you today.
So for the next 15 minutes together, we're going to be talking about this personal injury add-on, plus a number of other features that we've been working on in the months leading up to ClioCon. We'll talk about why we built this, what it is, and where you can find out more.
So we've heard from PI firms that Manage as it is today isn't actually meeting your unique workflows. So we dug a little deeper and we learned that most of the pain points you have are around keeping track of medical records, medical record requests, lien holders, payments, things like that, being able to easily calculate your settlement distributions, manage multiple people in a case, as well as managing high caseloads over long periods of time. So that's why we've essentially come and created the Clio's new personal injury add-on that Jack announced this morning. Let's start with managing everything to do with medical records. So the first tab that we have is the appropriately named medical record tab. Simply start by clicking on Add Medical Record Provider. You're going to get a pop-up. You can select a medical provider from an existing list of contacts. If you don't have that contact, simply click on Create New Contact and you'll be able to create a new contact without having to leave the context of your medical record page. Once you've got that contact there, simply provide a description. So maybe this is where they had their initial emergency treatment. You can select the treatment dates, so have a start date, and if treatment's completed, you can have a last treatment date. Check the box so you know that treatment's complete. And then you can do your medical record request. So if I'm requesting today, it'll automatically set a follow-up date 30 days from now, and I can optionally create a task for anyone in my firm to do that follow-up request. Similarly, for medical records and medical bills, create that request date, the follow-up date, optionally select if you want a task. And at the end of that, you're going to have your medical provider. You'll see the status there. So the treatment's complete, the records have been requested. Here are my follow-up dates. When you get your medical record, simply add medical record, upload your medical record file, put the receive date, the record start date. So if you have someone that's maybe in a physio and it's just for 1 month, you can say first to the last of the month. By doing that, you can then select, have I received all of my records or are my records incomplete? I've just got this month's worth of records. And now you'll see we have an easy look at. My treatment's complete. I've got all my medical records. My medical bills have been requested. By uploading this file, we've automatically created a medical records folder in your documents tab, and you'll find that medical record in that folder. Similarly, when you add a medical bill, upload the file, put the bill date, the receive date will automatically be filled out, put in your bill amount, and now you can start adding your payers. So in this case, I'm going to select the payer as one of my insurance companies. I'll put the amount that they've paid. I can indicate if that amount is a lien or outstanding balance on the case, and I can add up to 5 payers on this bill. So in this example, I'm going to say that my client also contributed towards his bill, so I'm not going to mark that as a lien. And then I'm going to put in any adjustments. So in this case, Blue Cross paid $30,000. There's a $5,000 adjustment, and now I still have $3,000 owing on the bill, which I'm also going to mark as an outstanding balance on my case. And again, mark if your bills are fully received or incomplete, which will facilitate all of your follow-ups. This will also create a medical bills folder in your documents tab, and you'll find all of these files in that folder, and you can add comments for any of these files for anyone to read. So you'll see all of your medical providers, a summary of all of their statuses of treatments, medical records, and bills. On the right side, you'll also see a summary of what's been billed, what's been paid, and what's owed. You can click on the Show More button. This is where you're going to see a summary of that payments, and you click in the little eye icon, and that's when you get all of your payer details. All of this is fully exportable as well. So now that you have all of your medical records and bills and you're tracking that and you've entered all of your values, we can now go and look at tracking my damages as a whole. So we have a new damages tab, and you'll see straight away all of your medical bill values are being summarized and plotted into the top of the table. To be able to add all of your non-medical damages, simply click the View Damage tab and enter a description, enter an amount. You can indicate if it's a special, general, or other damage. That's just so you can filter your table. So if you want to look at all of your damages and look at just the special or just the general, you can use the filtering to do that. So now that I have all of my medical records, my bills, all of my damages, I'm going to start trying to figure out what settlement I can get from my client. So this is where we have the settlement tab. If you scroll down to the bottom, you will see that all of your eligible matter expenses have been imported here and summarized from your activities tab. All of your liens and your outstanding balance are also summarized, and they're grouped by lien holder or balance holder. So in this case, Allstate's paid $20,000. They've done that over a number of bills. That summary is there. If you have other liens, we can mark them down here. Just click on the new lien button, enter the lien holder, a description, and the amount, and simply save that as well. And you can have unlimited number of liens there. Scrolling back to the top is where you'll be able to add your recovery amounts. And these can be hypothetical if you're just trying to figure out sort of different scenarios. Put your source in there, put your amount. You can have a checkbox there where it'll take your default contingency fee off that settlement, or you can uncheck it. And you'll see here a small warning that says, oh, hey, you've actually logged the recovery, but you haven't claimed your fee. In that case, you would just go down to the new legal fee, put in your custom rate, which attorney is getting this fee. And when you save that, the warning message goes away. And you'll see a summary of that in your legal fees. And then the final step in your negotiations with your lien holders, you might want to be looking at adding some reduction amounts. So you can edit that lien amount, put in a reduction, that'll be applied, and then your final amount column, that's what you're actually wanting to pay back on your liens. So when you scroll back to the top, this is where you'll see a summary of all of your recovery fees, all of your deductions, all of your legal fees, and then that client compensation. And of course, all of this comes on top of standard managed features, including our high level of security and compliance, and you can also get HIPAA compliance as well.
Amazing. Thanks, Shannon. Did we like that? Does that sound good? Yeah? Awesome. Okay, that's not all, right? So, as I mentioned, leading up to ClioCon, for the previous few months, we were working on some features and we're releasing some features. And so one of the features I want to talk about is Matter Stages. And so Matter Stages is a nice way for you to review and see all your cases across a long pipeline. We understand PI cases could go for a long time. So seeing where they are in the stages of that life cycle is pretty important. So if you are on the advanced plan or greater, you will now see that you have a new tab in your Matter section. And so on this tab, you'll be able to see a Kanban layout of all your matters. And these are organized by practice area. So if you're already using practice areas, these matters will automatically show up on that board. You can start building out your pipeline and the different stages. So it's nice and easy. You can visualize everything. You can drag and drop, move things across. So there's some colors on there. The green means open. The yellow means pending. And then you might also notice there's a date on each card. That just tells you how long that matter has been in that column. So you can have a good visualization of what the state is of these different matters. The next feature I want to talk about is Contact Matter Association. So this was released back in July. And so right now we understand there's a bit of a challenge to understand like all the contacts and how they relate to all your matters. And so the only way you can do that today is if you add them to this section called Related Contacts. And so we also know, and we've seen, a lot of folks like to organize their contacts in different ways. So you like to use custom fields. And so we've seen a lot of contacts show up in custom fields. So now with this release, we have fixed that. You can now see all the different ways that you have contacts added to a matter, whether they're on these custom fields or in any of the new PI fields that Shannon just walked us through. So now if you go to that contact, you can see this associated matter section is full of all these relationships. You can see in one situation, we have them listed as a payer and a lien holder. That's a PI field. Or they're a client insurance, which is just a custom field that we have on that matter as well. So in this case, they're on the client side, and then on the other situation, we have them listed as the defense side. So again, good visualization, good way to see how these contacts are related to all your matters. You have better visibility that way. The last feature I want to talk about is matter templates. So this is a nice way to speed up your matter creation. So we know there's a lot of repetition when you set up your matters every single time. So this was released back in September. So if you're on an Essentials plan or greater, you'll see you have a new button for matter templates. This will take you to a new section where you can create and manage all these templates. You can create them for whatever reason you want. We have them set up. We have a default template here. We also have this slip and fall template. And so I'm just going to go edit our slip and fall template. I'm just going to check that a few bits of piece of information are the way I want them to. So I got the description, I have the responsible attorney, I have the location, that's all set up the way I want. So I'm just going to go down to the custom field section, and I'm going to start adding a bunch of field sets that I want to have as part of this template. So I don't have to do that every single time I set up a matter. It speeds things up for me the next time I create this matter. So there they are. I've set up a few different sets. There's negotiations. And then once I'm happy with that, I'll hit save. And then back on the matters page, I can create a new matter. And you'll see that the default template shows up first. I could go in and just, you can see the default template information's here. I could switch that to the slip and fall template. You can see all the information gets updated. So now there's that description, there's that responsible attorney, there's that location. And if I scroll down to the custom fields, there's all the field sets that I set up. Saves me so many clicks every time I want to set up a new matter. So I hope you could see that, Clio is dedicated to helping you moving your cases forward. That's a promise that we're continually delivering on. And then when we started this PI initiative, we set ourselves a promise. We used like a flag in the distance that we're all trying to work towards, which is we want to make sure that we're helping you reach the best settlement for your clients. And so I hope with this feature set that we're releasing, that we're talking about today, you can see that that's something that we're taking to heart. We're working really hard to try to do that for you. But this is just the beginning. We want to get this in your hands. We're so excited to hear how you're using it, how it's working, how it's not. We want to get that feedback so we can continue improving this for you.
Awesome. Thanks very much. So that is pretty much everything that we wanted to show you today on PI. Please come and visit Devin, myself, and our colleagues at the Clio Product Lab. There is a personal injury desk. I'd love to know what you think so far. We'll love your feedback. So please come see us there. If we have you convinced that you want to sign up for our waitlist, then head over to our Level Up with Clio booth, and they'll scan your badge and they'll get you on the waitlist. That will also enter you in a competition to win this wonderful coffee machine. And there's also a presentation tomorrow, how personal injury firms use Clio. It's at 10:45 in the
Governor's Ballroom.
CD,
that's right.
Governor's Ballroom, CD. Thank you very much for your time. Please come say hi.